crucial driver for the success of the mobile internet in Japan is this. It's the fact that messaging is basically free. Now, to understand the whole picture, in Japan, people don't generally use SMS, they use mobile push email. And every phone has its unique address. For example, I'm Christopher at something.carrier.ne.jp. And any email sent to that address, whether it's coming from a mobile phone or from a PC, will be pushed to my phone. And it's much longer than SMS. It can have up to 10,000 characters as opposed to 160. It's also much richer than SMS in that it includes an emoticon set, which you can use across all three carriers. You can embed multiple links in it, which is great because neither SMS nor MMS really fully supports that. So you can send out newsletters linking to all kinds of different pages and so forth. And it's also great because I can easily send somebody a link to something that was interesting. I can sign up to social networking services and get notifications when people write comments on my page and so forth. And none of that messaging traffic really costs the user any money. Well, in reality it does. Maybe the average message costs you around 1 or 2 cents, but that's so cheap that nobody really cares, and it's part of your data fees, which in many cases, for many people, as I'll show you in a minute, is actually part of a flat rate package. So it doesn't matter. So just imagine how big the internet would be today if every email you sent would have cost you a significant amount of money. Because that's basically the system that SMS operates on. So I think it's safe to say that what we're looking here is basically one world that still operates on candles and another small part of the world that basically runs on electricity. And I think it would be a great time to think about introducing electricity to some other parts of the world. I've mentioned this briefly. Data flat rates has been a very significant driver for uptake of mobile data services in Japan. You've got around 4 in 10 users on these data flat rate plans. They were first introduced in 2004. They cost you around between $15 and $25 per month per user. I'll explain that in a minute. And that percentage of people who are on data flat rates is probably going to reach somewhere in the region of 65 to 70% of all mobile data users in Japan by 2011. Now, why that's really a significant thing to note is that because these people have much higher content and services usage than people who are not on flat rate plans, between 1.5 and 2 times. And if you just kind of think back to the days before broadband on the internet and before flat rate access and compare it to where we are today, you will also notice that service and content take-up has exploded basically. And that's one of the things that's certainly been happening in Japan and continues to happen. The way these billing plans work is this. I like to call it the low entry barrier gym membership pricing model. And why that is because you sign up for this plan, and if you use very little mobile data, you're going to end up not paying more than $15. But if you end up using it very much, you also will end up not paying more than $25 or maybe, depending on the exchange rate, $30. So, and predictably, you're going to have a lot of people that actually don't use it so much. You're going to have very few people that use it all the time. This is actually the guys that spend 12 hours at the gym every day, but the majority of the people don't come to the gym that very often. So for the carrier, it really evens out and it really works. And the reason why the carriers are so desperately trying to sell data flat rate plans is the following. If you look at average return per user over the past decade or so, you'll notice that it's steadily dropping. It's still very high compared to many other markets, but you'll notice that especially in the past 3 years or so, voice revenues are dropping very rapidly and data revenues are growing. The problem with that is that the data revenues per user are not growing as much as they would need to compensate for the losses in voice. So you'll notice here that the average data ARPU is around $20, which is exactly what the flat rate roughly brings in. So the more flat rates the carriers sell, the more they can stabilize ARPU. And as I just showed you, in many cases people will actually go over the lower border and spend maybe around $25 or $30, and that's a good thing. So the more people the carriers can get into these flat rates, the better it is for them in the long run.